Welcome back, guys. So I finished up the installation of the SVS Prime elevation speakers, and what can I say? Wow. I am actually amazed, and I feel compelled to tell you that there is a big difference over other speakers. And let me tell you, these are significantly different. So now that I've ultimately installed the Prime elevation speakers, I have connected them to my Emotiva power amplifier, particularly the A300. So the stereo power amp ran through the Marantz and the pre-out section. I am blown away. I am amazed. Now, beyond the fact that they're pretty much exactly the same as the SVS Prime satellite speaker, they are a lot different. And I've tried several different speakers in this configuration, all powered from the Emotiva power amplifier, and I am blown away at these Prime elevation speakers. Now let's just talk about them for a second. There simply isn't anything else on the market that is exactly like this, which surprises me too. You would think now with Dolby Atmos and DTS X object-based audio becoming increasingly popular among home theaters, that another company would have created a speaker like this that is designed specifically to easily integrate and mount on the wall and point downward. Now, as I've talked about many times before, if you haven't watched my video on the best Dolby Atmos type of speakers to buy to use as height speakers, go back and watch that video if you can. But as I've said before, there are three choices for Dolby Atmos and DTS X height speakers. You've got number one, which was the first formulation, so to speak, from the industry, which was up-firing Dolby Atmos modules, which would sit on the top of your front or rear speakers and fire upwards and aim the sound up at the wall and try to bounce it back down at the listening position. It didn't do very well in the marketplace, at least. There's a lot of enthusiasts that feel it's not a realistic type of setup, and I have heard it several times. I don't really feel it sounds that great. You've got the second type of setup with it, which is this: a generic enclosure direct radiating monopole speaker in an enclosure like this that is sitting or mounted on either the wall or the ceiling, which I believe is the best choice to go with for height speakers. And then you've got your third choice, of course, which is an in-ceiling speaker. An in-ceiling speaker that sits in the ceiling, usually with a white grill, paintable though, and is wired up through the walls. That's probably the most complicated type of setup to do, some of the hardest, and definitely the hardest to install. These were simple. In about 10 minutes of having my drill set out, mounting the speaker mounts to the back of the speakers and the wall mount brackets to the wall, I had these speakers up, I had them connected, and I had audio playing through them in an Atmos or a DTS X height type of setup. And it was amazing. I was blown away. As soon as I swapped these speakers out, turned them on, listened to them, sat in my listening position, I was amazed at how much ambient effects and sound I'm able to notice. And it was more or less enveloping in a bubble, which it should be. That's that objects kind of move around the room from a height layer and then down on your floor layer as well. So I have to say, so let's just talk about simply the fact that they are very similar to the Prime satellite series, which I love those speakers. They have a keyhole on the back with quarter-inch type threads, so you're able to use generic, speaker mounts with those. And speaker mounts would probably be the way to go. And I have attempted to use speaker mounts with these speakers. I'm not really happy or satisfied with the whole installation setup or integration, at least in this room. So I've yet to permanently install my SVS speaker mounts with those. But I'm very happy I chose these guys, and I think they're going to stay in that final position. I've done some things with the wiring I'll have to show you at some point, guys, but I'm blown away. And let me talk about quickly how when I first initially wired these guys up, actually, first of all, I had them set up in a 2-channel configuration. So I had a couple of different stereos here. I powered them off of my Parasound preamp and then a power amp I ran them through. And I was blown away at their capability to play 2-channel audio. That was really amazing. I had the SVS speaker cables hooked up to them sitting in a stereo configuration, and I was able to turn them up and turn them up loud, and they sounded great for such a small satellite type of speaker. But when I hooked them up here in their final resting point, sort of, is when I was really amazed. Now, I think mainly what's going on here is the fact that they're slanted and angled towards the listener, and that is why they're able to create such a powerful effect, but sound great doing so as well. These are amazing, guys, and I'm going to have several different things to come. I'll let you hear the speakers yourself. We'll listen to some music. We'll listen to some movies. And we'll also hear some video game effects.
They're gonna put George down. I can't let that happen.
We have to save him.
George!
Let's try not to get killed, okay?
Sounds like a plan.
So if you like this video, guys, give me a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe, and I got a ton of stuff coming. Take care, guys.